Hey, welcome in.
Welcome to the Arrowhead Addict podcast.
We are here coming to you live.
Let me tell you, the dopamine, it's flowing.
I am damn excited.
We are so excited to be joining you guys tonight.
Oh! Well, how you doing, man? Patrick.
Will Sterling.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion, two-time Pro Bowler, and Trent Green. Trent Green, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
He picked it up! He picked it up! He's gonna
And we'll see you next week. But until then, as always, go Chiefs. Welcome into the Arrowhead Addict podcast. It is Thursday, July 31st, 2025. This is the OG Hour. Patrick Allen here with you, as always, with another OG, Matt Connor, who has been the editor of course, let's get things straight. He's an Arrowhead Addict podcast OG for sure, but he's a much bigger OG than that. He's been on the website for a long, long time. I think, you probably have the longest tenure of any editor of that site, including the fellows who founded it and the clown talking to you right now.
I think so. 2017. How long was your particular stint?
Let's see. I started in 2009, but it was December. I actually just the other day saw that my fan-sided account, I signed up for it on Christmas Day in 2009. So I started covering the team that last week of the season. That was right before the Jamal Charles game where he went crazy on Denver.
Yeah.
And I covered it from a bar with my I had one of those tiny little computers. Remember they were selling those for a while? What the hell were they called? They were like little clamshell things, kind of like a precursor to
like
Google
to the Chromebook or something?
Chromebooks. Yeah, they were really small. I forget what they called them. And it was great for me, though, because it was really lightweight and I could take it with me to the bar, which is where I watched the Chiefs games in New York City because I couldn't afford Sunday ticket back then. So that I sat at the bar and I watched Jamal Charles just go crazy. And I remember then being angry, and I'm still angry that he didn't go for the rushing record, because I really think he could have gotten it.
That's it.
Do you remember that though? Todd Haley went to him and said, "Do you want to go for it?" And Jamal said, "I'll get it another day."
I don't remember that detail.
Yeah, I remember that because I was covering the site, and I thought it was cool of Todd Haley to do that, and I would have put him back in anyway. I'm like, I don't care if you're tired. It's week 17. We stink. Our record's terrible. Just stunt on the Broncos.
But all things Jamal, you're always wanting to like be careful, right? I mean, health is the difference between him in or out of the Hall of Fame, like Pro Football Hall of Fame, not like just Chiefs.
Sure. But we all know how it played out. So wouldn't it be nice if, he had a whole off season after that, right? So wouldn't it be nice if he had that in his trophy case, right? All time single game rushing record. I forget how many he had in that game and how far he was away from it at that time, because I don't know when AP did it and all that stuff. At any rate, so I've been here a long time. You've been here longer though, running the website. So you're a fitting co-host today for the OG Hour.
Yeah, glad to be here, man. Glad to be here. Lots to discuss.
Oh man, there's so much going on. And shout out to our members of the Arrowhead Addict podcast. If you guys are new here, welcome. Oh my, is that Marcus Mosher in the chat? My man.
Welcome, Marcus.
He asked, Marcus, a pal of ours here at Fanside, could we see Brashard Smith have a Jerick McKinnon type role in this offense right away? I've got that later down in the outline, but we could just talk about it now. And I know you just talked to somebody. I saw you tweet it just right before the show, connected to Brashard Smith. I am hoping, and Marcus says he has some really good Todd Haley stories for you. I love making fun of Todd Haley. So Marcus, I'll be in touch. Maybe we can have Marcus. We'll just have Marcus on the show and he can tell him. We'll do that. Brashard Smith. I know you have a lot of strong feelings about this backfield. We talked about it leading up to the draft. You were really disappointed that the Chiefs didn't grab one of those guys early. I've been having fever dreams that Andy Reid is going to use this guy like Brian Westbrook light. with the receiving skills. And I'm having flashbacks to the Kareem Hunt era, the first Kareem Hunt era in Kansas City. So talk to me about Marcus's question here. Like, I want more than a Jerick McKinnon type impact, but you tell me what you foresee here.
Hey, I'll just say this. I think there's two sides of this. One is he's a 7th round running back and I think we should temper any expectations we have for a guy like that in his first year. It's a complex offense. The Chiefs are giving him some touches, but they're not like loading him up in training camp. The order is what you think it is in terms of like number of touches per day in Chiefs camp. It's Pacheco, it's Hunt, it's Mitchell. It's Carson Steele gets a couple. So like keep your expectations measured with Smith. I would. That said, I think there's a caveat here where I think it's wide open. I think anything goes. I think we've seen Pacheco's ceiling in this offense, dealing with the injuries as he has. I think we're all excited to see him back. He should be plenty motivated with the contract year, but I think we'd all love something more from the position. And certainly he's just one dimension of what the Chiefs need overall in the backfield. Kareem Hunt is going to be, a lot is being made about the fact that he has a full off season this year instead of coming in off the couch. And I think that matters I think that amounts to something, but what we're also like, I don't hear anyone saying, hey, by the way, guys, he's a year older and a year slower. And
I'm saying that. I've been saying that.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that because I feel like most people love the feel good side of Kareem's return. They love a redemptive finish to his tenure. He came back. He was able to at least pursue a championship with the team when he should have been with them all along. Like that kind of narrative brings the feel good side of things. But like, I was just totally perplexed when they brought him back in the first place. Like, I just didn't get why you had to make that kind of signing as early as you did, even for a low level 1-year deal. I'm just like, well, if you want to bring back an aging, what's now kind of more of a short yardage back, sign him in mid-July. There's so many. And then, Elijah Mitchell hasn't been relevant in the NFL since 2021. He had a spectacular year that year for the Niners, but I think there's more hope there. The way they're using Mitchell. I'm not answering your question about Brashard. I'm sorry.
We'll get there.
But any conversation there really has to do with the whole unit and the way that works. So I say all that to say the door is open for someone to go, I'm seizing the moment. I'm grabbing the brass ring. Now, what I alluded to earlier, I had a chance to talk to Kyle Cooper, who is the SMU. So Brashard went to SMU in his final season. He went through the transfer portal from University of Miami, where he spent 3 years. He goes to SMU. The Chiefs like him enough. They had 2 very late 7ths. They trade up early in the 7th to get their running back that we were all waiting all draft weekend for them to do.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Kyle. I was like, Coach Cooper, whatever. I reached out to Kyle Cooper. I was like, hey, can we talk about Brashard? He's like, I've even known him. He's like, I recruited him to Miami. I'm not just at SMU.
Oh.
He said, I was at Miami during COVID recruiting him as a high school kid. We got him to Miami. He was a gadget guy at Miami doing he was a receiver at Miami, running scripted plays, doing some special team stuff. He said, then I get hired at SMU to come over, and we were dealing with a bunch of significant injuries. And he said, we were looking for a guy who could just take the one cut and take it 70 yards. And he said, I knew Brashard had entered the transfer portal, was looking for a better home in his last season for his skill set. And Rhett Lashley, who's the head coach at SMU, he said that we were both looking at him going, he's super talented, but we need a running back. Do you think he can do it? And they said, we actually looked at another Chief. They said, we actually looked at Pacheco and said, look, the build's actually pretty similar. It's not like they have similar running styles. They're not bringing the same dimension. But size-wise, Pacheco is not that much bigger than Smith. And so it was actually watching Pacheco in the postseason in his success with the Chiefs over the last couple of years, that they were like, I think maybe Smith could handle this. He said they bring in Smith, they try to teach him how to play running back. They're trying to lean on him. Then suddenly he said, after just a few games, we're like, if we overload this guy too much, we're going to lose him. Like, it was very quickly they knew, oh, not only can he handle it, not only can he excel at it, he's now become our number one offensive target and weapon overall. And if we want our season to go like we want it, now it was talking about, like, how do we scale back his touches so he lasts as much. So he went from a total roll of the dice long shot of like, yeah, hopefully he can handle the rigors of this new position. How do we handle this? And then he goes to a guy that's like, oh, now we're learning how to even rely on him as the main load carrier. You know, he had nearly 1,700 yards from scrimmage, 18 touchdowns on offense. It was just a whole metamorphosis. I think when you're the Chiefs, I'm talking here for a long time, I'm sorry. All that to say, if you're the Chiefs and you're looking at that, I think you're looking at that and going, this guy's a very quick learner. This guy's a guy who's proven in just 1 year he could take to the position, do things you didn't know he could do. Let's trade a couple 7th-round picks, grab the guy, and see what more he can do at the next level with further coaching, further development, further experience.
Yeah, and you don't get recruited to a school like Miami if you don't have a certain level of skill set, right? So even though it didn't work out there, and he's kind of in this like tweener position, and he ends up playing running back, you know that the athleticism is there, and that's exciting because the Chiefs, it doesn't always translate. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco was very fast at his 40 time, and you don't see him breaking off huge runs. I think that's more of a vision problem than a speed problem to have the impact. But I'm excited about this guy, and you're right. Like, it's Andy, you know, he's not going to go out there and start this guy over Pacheco and Mitchell. But I think that one thing that Andy has shown is, one, he wasn't afraid to start a rookie with Kareem Hunt when he needed to. And last year, when Pacheco came back and was struggling in short yardage, and he was like, there was like a certain point where like he just like ran into the back of the offensive line one too many times, and Andy was like, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if you don't have the strength, you don't have the vision, whatever it is right now. Like, I'm going with Kareem Hunt. And you look at the playoffs, and it was Kareem Hunt. Like, it was a Kareem Hunt show. Kareem Hunt, people are mad at me because I said this on the podcast, and then it got clipped. And you know what happens when they clip just a little short part of it without content? And people, it's the internet. People are going to get mad at you no matter what. But you know, I was talking about surprise cut candidates. And then I ended up writing an article about this for fanside.com last week. You should check it out. Look at my profile over there. About how Kareem Hunt could be a surprise cut. And I didn't realize when I said it on the podcast how out there of a take it would seem to the regular everyday Chiefs fan. But it makes sense to me now after I saw the reaction to the clip, because they were like, what are you talking about? He's our best running back last year. And I was like, yeah, that's true. But like, that's not saying much. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, so he was better than Pacheco coming back from a broken leg and Carson Steele, who runs like a 4.7 40, like and is a fullback. And look, he was great, and it was a great story, and it was cool to see him back in red and gold, and he was great for them. Like, he gave them not exactly what they needed, but exactly what they expected him to do, which was get the yards that are there. He showed incredible strength. Surprising strength, really, to in short yardage situations. But when I suggest him as a surprise cut candidate, I understand people have this attachment to Kareem Hunt, and they're thinking about the glory days, and then he performed last year. But guys, like, he's turning 30. He had lost a step in Cleveland. It's clear he lost a step. Like, the balance is still there, the vision is still there, strength is still there. It's just hard to foresee a situation where when these guys hit 30, you have to be an outlier of outliers. Like, you have to be like a Derrick Henry type of like genetic freak to continue to produce at a super high level. And Kareem Hunt's best days are behind him. And so it's not crazy to foresee a situation where they go into camp and they're in camp, and they don't have very many roster spots on this team. And they're like, if they like Smith and Mitchell's healthy and more explosive, and they're not going to cut Pacheco, if they want to cut, if they may keep Carson Steele over Kareem Hunt. And for a couple of reasons. One, because Carson Steele contributes on special teams. That's not something that they were really using Kareem Hunt for last year. And two, they may think, look, like, we're not going to cut, like, Kareem Hunt will probably still be sitting on the couch if we need him later in the season, right? It's not a guarantee. Some team that has the, a short yardage need and might want to pick him up after the way he performed last year. But it's not out of the realm of possibility that there's just not room for him. And the Chiefs are like, we got what we need, and we probably can get you later if somebody gets hurt.
I like Hunt's chances to make the team. It doesn't mean I love the move. It doesn't mean I love the backfield. I like him more than Carson Steele. I get that he doesn't play special teams. I think in short yardage situations, I'd much rather rely on Hunt. And it's not like Andy Reid has proven that he, like, we're that adept in short yardage situations. So if you go with at least the best guy that you have there, I think Hunt makes the team. I think he has a place. But I think this backfield is really lacking. If I'm going to bring any kind of hot take or any kind of major bold prediction here, I would say the Chiefs' best rusher is not at all on this roster. At season's end, I think there will be a move before the trade deadline. If you said it's Breece Hall, I would totally believe you. Someone else. I have a hard time believing that they're going to stand pat at this position. And maybe it will just be another minor attempt to bring in another complementary piece. That's fine. I just have a hard time believing these are the dice they're going to roll going into the season.
Dude, I'd be doing backflips if they traded for Breece Hall.
I know that's like a big, huge whatever. I think the Chiefs have proven reticent. I think Brett Veach is a bold and sure-handed general manager. But I think at that position, going after Clyde Edwards-Helaire the way they did, a first-round splash, it just did not work out as planned. And then every move since then has been hyper-conservative moves, hoping for slightly better results than what you can count on. And yeah, like an Elijah Mitchell. So I get it. It's the spurned lover sort of attempt to go back into dating or something. And it works because the rest of the roster is so good. And Brett Veach is good, great overall at roster construction. But I just think there's something there at running back that, yeah.
Well, who can blame him? I mean, he made it work with defense and with offensive linemen and
yes, and
also ran running backs, right? They won a number of Super Bowls. And I think that if you ask a non-Chiefs fan, 5 years from now, right? Hey, name me the running backs on the Chiefs when they won those 3 Super Bowls. They probably aren't going to be able to tell you. But I guarantee you, if you ask the general NFL football fan about that Eagles championship last year, who was running back on that team? Oh, it's Saquon Barkley. I remember that season. So the Chiefs, to their credit, have made it work. But what I love about this team and what I love about Brett Veach is that he's not afraid to change his approach. They did the light show thing on offense. Then they did the really good defense thing. And now they're kind of at this middle of the road, kind of waiting. There were years and years of investment in that defense that helped lead us to these last 2 Super Bowls. We've been talking about it for years now. We're these young guys that they've been drafting in the middle of this defense, and it all kind of came to fruition. I'm hoping that that's happening with the offense now, and that maybe we have a year or 2 where we don't win the Super Bowl, which just seems crazy. But we could be sitting here in 3 years, and we're it's another high-powered offense and maybe a little bit of an older, declining defense. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about the offense. And let's start, since I just said old and declining, let's talk about Travis Kelce. He is thinner, looks great, trim, svelte.
Good word.
Yeah, isn't it? It's a good one. Do you think, you know what is another good word that I use on occasion that I never hear anybody else use is stick-to-itiveness.
Oh,
that's a good word. You ever use that word?
I don't believe I have, but
have you ever heard that word?
I have heard that word, but yeah. That's stick-to-itiveness.
Stick-to-itiveness, right? Like George Karlaftis has stick-to-itiveness.
Sure, that's a great example of stick-to-itiveness.
It's a perfect example. Yeah. So that kids out there, wow your friends tomorrow. I'm gonna get at least one junior high kid is gonna get a swirly next fall because of what I just said. Travis is thinner. There's good buzz. Look, this is training camp. This is best shape of your life season, all that kind of stuff. But Travis is out there, and the reports out of camp are that he looks thin. He looks quick. Andy said something along the lines of he looks like he's 20 again. Do you think a lighter and better shape Travis Kelce will make an impact this year?
I do. I'm a big believer in the uptick for Travis Kelce for a number of reasons. By the way, when you said like thinner, better, it just reminded me of that Daft Punk, like harder, better, fast. I don't know if you remember. Anyway, weird Daft Punk reference in the middle of a Travis Kelce routine.
Yeah, sure.
Look, if I'm going to ever believe in Travis Kelce, it's going to be because Travis Kelce says so. So I honestly was shocked that he returned. I think I hedged even like on podcast with, here at AA or in my stories or something, because I just thought, oh yeah, he may return and whatever. But I legitimately thought he's done. He's so done because he's got the off the field stuff. He'll never be more popular in terms of like getting chances to do things off the field. He's put in the time. There's nothing else to prove. He's got the rings. Money isn't a thing. Now he's got the love of his life. I don't even know why you would return. I don't know why you would risk health. I don't know why you would risk wellness. I don't know what. I mean, yeah. That said, he did return. So yes, he looks faster. Yes, he looks. Andy Reid seems to be saying the right things. Andy Reid's always going to say the right things. Everyone's going to say the right things. But here's what I would trust about that situation. Travis Kelce, having all of that, having all those reasons not to return, chose to return, right? So I trust Travis in the way of saying, hey, look, if I'm coming back, if I'm going to do this all over again into my mid-30s, if I'm going to put my body through that much turmoil, if I'm going to give myself to something for 6 months that takes me away from all those things I could be having on a full-time basis, then I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it well. And for me to do it well means showing up back to camp, having lost 10, 15 pounds, looking slimmer, whatever it is. He's pretty quick to say that those reports of like, he's lost 25 pounds is false. He's like, not that much. No one really knows the total, whatever. But yeah, if Kelce is back, I trust Kelce to know here's what it's going to take for me to counter some of the step that I've lost. Here's what it's going to take for me to counter some of the ways in which my game is not as effective as it was 3 to 5 years ago when I was a primary target in my prime, setting new marks at the position every year. Those days may be over. So yeah, I think this is going to be the swan song, and I think he's going to go out fairly well.
Yeah, I think it makes sense, right? Like, they got humiliated in that Super Bowl. He didn't play well. He looked defeated and not motivated at times during that game. He's talked about it. And some people in the chat, and by the way, shout out to our members in the chat, everybody. This is the Arrowhead Addict podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. Welcome. Let's talk Chiefs. Rob says he loves the game. That's it. I think that's true. He does love the game. You have to think about this. He has a really unique, even among NFL players, like a really unique experience. He was on the Chiefs when they kind of weren't very good, couldn't get over the hump in the playoffs. Now he's gone through the whole Patrick Mahomes era. He's won a bunch of Super Bowls. He knows he's coming to the end. He started all this media stuff, and he's hosting SNL, and he's in Happy Gilmore and all these things. He's dating Taylor Swift. There's a lot of distraction. But this is like football. It's like his first love. And he got to watch his brother, who is a big reason he is where he is today. He's talked about that. Go through the motions of figuring out when he wanted to walk away from the game. And he got to watch him lose a Super Bowl, decide to come back, and probably make peace with that was going to be his last season and give one more go of it and go out on his own terms. And I think for somebody who has to work as hard as a pro athlete and somebody as talented and as proud as Travis Kelce, yeah, man, wouldn't you rather go out like, okay, you finally like you lose in the playoffs to the Bills or something, by a touchdown or 3 points, and like not that Super Bowl, the last thing that you remember about your career. Like not very many people get the opportunity to go out hoisting the Lombardi, and Travis could have if he wanted to, but I'm sure he, like others, would be lured to the chance to try to go for a three-peat. So I think his experience with his brothers, really informed him here. And I think he's going to be locked in for this year. And he's probably told the people in his life, including Taylor, like, this is, for the next 5 months, I'm locked in. I'm going to do this one more time. It's my last ride. And he knows it. And he'll be able to remind himself of that every time he steps on the field. And that's going to benefit the Chiefs, period.
Don't you also think, if he knows, there's something about when you can control the circumstance, then you can approach it with the right perspective. Like, he could go through this year knowing this is it for me. So when he steps on the field, he can go, boy, this is my last trip to Mile High. This is my last trip to SoFi. Not that matters. Like this is the last time I'm going to meet these guys on the field after the game and say hey to my brothers from Cleveland or, whatever. I think maybe it's like when a musician says, this is my final tour. Yeah. And then they go through and they're just able to know this is the last time I'm playing in the Hollywood Bowl, or this is the last time I'm playing at MetLife, or whatever it is. So I think that's what's happening under the surface. And I think Travis knows I can control and appreciate this all like in a predictable way, hoping he stays healthy, of course. And so then to do so, let me slim down a bit. Let me be in peak physical condition. Let's see this thing through. Yeah.
And it's a great storyline. You get beat up in the playoff in the Super Bowl. You fail at your goal of achieving history. And boy, if they were able to do it in his last season, do it again. It would be just an absolutely unbelievable story. They're probably got to have a camera crew following them around. They did last year. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm excited that Travis is in shape. I'm excited that he's locked in. And I've been saying it on the podcast. He's going to go over 1,000 yards. Nobody believes me. I think he is. We will see. All right, we got other topics to get to. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button. It helps people find the show, not just now, but later. And if you've got questions or comments, hit us up in the chat. We'll try to get to some of them. Okay. So by the way, I titled this segment, I don't think it's displayed anywhere on the screen, but I titled this segment Wet Hot Training Camp Summer. Big fan of that movie, by the way. If you've never seen it, check it out. Paul Rudd, hilarious in it. Josh Simmons. What I wrote down here is Josh Simmons him? Sounds like the reviews coming out of camp are fantastic. And it's not just from fans in the stands or reporters. Yeah. It's from former players, offensive linemen, the Schwartz brothers.
Yeah.
Are watching these clips and they're like, man, that dude's good. He can move. He was going at it with Gelati. It just threw Gelati down, and they got in a fight because I think Gelati is just so mad. Simmons got to be careful. They'll be throwing punches, getting thrown out of games. But you're covering the team every single day. What are you hearing and seeing? And is he him?
Yes, I'm seeing the same things that you are, right? You mentioned the Schwartz brothers; they love him. Jeff Allen. Let's go back to the very beginning. Draft analysts everywhere were like, "This is the guy." like Will Campbell was the first lineman taken, but Justin Simmons would be the guy. If not for like the torn patellar, there were some rumored character off-field maturity issues, I guess you'd say, that also creeped in the pre-draft season. Whatever. You're saying on the field, he is the guy. Now that he's on the field, everyone's saying he is the guy. I've never seen this. I have never. I can't think of another Chiefs draft pick, even Trent McDuffie. Like McDuffie coming out, I loved his instincts. Couldn't wait to see him. But he was not this. Like Karlaftis, as productive as he was at Purdue, was not this. No first-round pick the Chiefs have had in a long time looked this good, this ready. You're watching him and you're like, oh, I get why. Ashton Gelati is he was taken at the very top of the third round, could have easily gone in the second round, has an incredible is probably overstated. He had a very strong body of work, very productive pass rusher. By the way, super strong in his legs. Like Gelati is like can generate tremendous power. So when you see someone like Simmons handling him the way he did, he's not handling Mike Dana that way, which he could do, by the way. He's handling someone who knows how to handle himself. And it just looks like, and that's just one rep. We're blowing it up out of proportion. Yes, it's early in training camp. Yeah, they just put the pads on, blah, 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 blah. I get that. But I mean, this is as good as left tackle has looked in a while. This is not in any way similar to last preseason where everyone was kind of into Kingsley Suamataia, like that was going to be. I mean, we were all, I think most of Chiefs Kingdom was enamored with the potential of Kingsley. And the heartening thing about Kingsley last year was that he was being given all those same reps that Josh is getting. But it's not like he looked like this level in those reps. So I think, one, the fact that the Chiefs are going, look, they're rotating everywhere else. They're rotating everywhere. Even Creed stepped aside for Caliendo to play some first team center reps just to gain some, Hunter Norzad occasionally. Trey Smith will step aside for the occasional whatever. It's Simmons, all Simmons, and everyone who's ever played the position is going, that's the guy. And it backs up everyone else who said all along, that's the guy. And I just think finally Brett Veach is going to be able to say, that's our guy. And it's incredible. It's incredible.
I do keep cautioning people on the podcast. I'm like, look, he's going to struggle at times. Like, he's a rookie. It's as good as the reviews are coming out. Like, don't freak out if he gives up a couple sacks early in the season, because he's still a rookie left tackle. It's the hardest position to play in against these elite pass rushers, and he's going to see some of them. So, especially early in the season. So I just a word of caution for Chiefs fans. If he struggles a little bit the first quarter of the season, don't panic. It doesn't mean that it's a Kingsley Suamataia situation. Now, if he starts bullfighting like Kingsley was last year and Wanya Morris, and he starts getting beat immediately, then okay, maybe you have a room for concern. But I don't think that's going to be the case. If he's healthy, and I watched him at Ohio State, he's a good player, man. And it's just,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just like, isn't it? It's crazy intimidating. Like, when you think about how like weak people like you and me are, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I don't
like
know what
this
you're
dude,
saying, Patrick.
When you see him do that to a guy like Ashton Gelati, or a Mike Dana, he could pick me up and break me in half. You know what I mean? Like, it's just insane. These guys are unbelievable. When you're like manhandling other incredible, strong athletes, it's just like a whole different level. Anytime anybody questions what these guys get paid, I'm just like, they're not just growing on trees out there.
No, I think this is huge. I do not feel the same need as you to hedge a little bit and say, well, he's just a rookie. I think he's the guy. I think he's going to be the guy. I see comments saying, We saw some of this last year with Kingsley. I don't think we did. I don't think it's the same thing. I think this is the Chiefs story of the year. This is it. When Brett Veach got their left tackle at the bottom of the first round is going to be something we're talking about for a long, long time. And the cost of a tackle, there's so many ramifications here. I'm probably like stepping on the gas a bit too much just because I think longtime Chiefs fans know better and they just want to be cautious because we went through such dire circumstances before they got good. I get that. I just don't feel the need to hedge. I think Josh Simmons is so firmly the guy, clearly the guy. And I think he's going to be great right out of the gate.
This is just one of those things, man. Like, people are going to look back on that draft if this works out and Patrick Mahomes has his left hand. And when I say work out, I mean he's the guy, potentially an all-pro level player, a fortress on the left side, and he's healthy and he stays reasonably healthy for 5-10 years. People are going to look back at this and just be like, how did we let this happen?
Yeah, I made the joke on Twitter that people are going to say this was a conspiracy theory, and I didn't mean it as a joke. Like, I said that on Twitter, but like, I legitimately think, remember the guy taken right before him, Josh Connerly Jr., taken by the Washington Commanders 3 picks before Simmons. That guy can't even win a job for a team that's like, they're starting Andrew Wiley. He can't handle beating Andrew Wiley. They're saying he's super raw. They're hoping he's going to be able to take over by mid-season, maybe. Like, that's the guy who took him before Simmons. When you look back at that, it's going to be really easy for anyone who's kind of leaning into conspiracy theories anyway, to look at that and go, oh, look at the NFL who got the rest of the league to turn their head for one full round so that the franchise face of the most decorated team over the last 5 years is allowed to protect like the most popular player in the NFL. I totally get why someone who, if you're already believing refs are in on things, like of course the NFL did that. So I think people took it as a joke, but I think we're going to hear legit conspiracy theories about Simmons falling to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I was tweeting about how it's conspiracy. It's training camp for Chiefs fans too, because we got to get ready, we got to get limber, get our arguments in line to make fun of these idiots all year long. All right, let's move on to the wide receiver position. A lot of buzz about Tyquan Thornton. He was a second-round pick, drafted around Sky Moore, went to the Patriots, didn't work out there at all. Although, I mean, the quarterback play, nothing's worked out for the Patriots for a while now. This is a guy that, as I understand it, has gotten rave camp reviews in the past, even going back to the Patriots days. He's getting notice in Chiefs camp. Is this just like a Justin Ross style training camp warrior who just doesn't have it on the actual NFL field?
That list is long, isn't it? How about Darius Fountain? How about Corey Coleman? How about John Ross? How about Garrett Dieter? How about there's been a number of last year we were all into Reese Zammit, the rugby guy.
Yeah, I like Fountain. I think Fountain had a little bit of juice,
but not in the regular, like none of those guys, Justin Ross, none of them were making a splash like we thought, maybe hope they would. I'm kind of buying though on Thornton because not only has he kept it up through the spring and now into the summer, he's also got a kind of a golden opportunity right now, right? Hollywood Brown nursing the ankle, Xavier Worthy in the concussion protocol. You know whose name you're never hearing right now? Nico's name. Who's talking about Nico? And
right.
He's usually penciled in as the last receiver. If Rashee Rice is going to be suspended, the Chiefs are going to have an extra roster spot anyway at receiver. So that opens the door a bit for Tyquan Thornton or someone like him to break through. Then the lack of any real buzz around Nico coming out of camp also makes me think, oh, there's even more opportunity here. And looking back at the Patriots, they gave up on Tyquan after 3 seasons, but Thornton started the last 2 years injured. And then he comes in and then he just finds he he can't reclaim a role, or he can't claim one in the first place, depending on the year. I think the Chiefs are looking at this like, hey, there's a guy who ran a 4.28. He's very fast, even with pads on. We may have something here if he can stay healthy, which is a real key for every receiver on the Chiefs. But there's also that window of opportunity with the injuries, with the lack of buzz about Nico Remigio, and then Rashee Rice's suspension. I think there's a real shot there for a fringe wide receiver like Thornton to make the team right out of the gate.
Do you think he, with the long speed that he has, he's a pretty slim guy. He's like 186 pounds or something, not big. Could he sort of serve that kind of like that role Demarcus Robinson served for them in the early Mahomes years, where he'd get loose downfield sometimes as a, basically a deep threat for them, something that we know that they want to try to do more of?
Maybe in that MVS role, in some way, as a guy to require defenses to stretch a little bit. He's never going to get a ton of playing time. I mean, he doesn't, Juju's going to get the reps no matter what he's got. We got to replace Justin Watson around here some way. There are some reps available, but Brown coming back, Rice coming back. I don't think Rice is going to be suspended long at all. I mean, I think it's going to be 2 games. Yeah.
Florio doesn't agree with you.
I just think
Florio thinks you're being a homer.
Yeah. I think it's a hiccup. I know. I don't care. Who cares, Florio? Yeah. So, hopefully Brown is going to be able to stay healthy. But that's a crossing the fingers thing. So, yeah, I think Thornton will make the roster. I think the contributions will be pretty minimal, like it should be for a fringe roster player, but I believe in his ability to make the active roster more than I disbelieve it.
You don't think Sky Moore is going to make the team?
Could be. I think Remigio is going to be the odd guy out. I think he's penciled in, and I think he showed up well in the postseason. I'm not hearing anything. I'm not seeing anything. It's a little surprising to me.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's obviously got the return game in his favor, and he's pretty good at that, so that might make him sneak on. But I think if you're the Chiefs, you gotta, with a potential Rice suspension, and you got some, smaller guy like Worthy, you need some guys that if you need them to come in and play, they can actually play and not just be special teams guys. They're like, oh yeah, well, they can't get open, but we're keeping them for special teams. Like, ideally, you've got somebody that can do a little bit of both, maybe even if they're not a front end of the roster guy. So it'll be interesting to see how that wide receiver battle plays out. And we haven't even talked about the rookie Jalen Royals.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a whole other subject there at the position.
What are you hearing about him? From what I'm hearing about training camp, they're having him run a lot of those Rashee Rice type roles.
Yeah.
If Rice does get suspended, whether it's 2 games, 4 games, 6 games, and if it's early in the season, does Royals have an impact faster than maybe people think?
Yeah, maybe. I think that's a stock worth buying if people want to feel optimistic. Here's why, for 2 reasons. One, the script on Royals is the same from everybody. His fellow teammates, his former college coaches, and Andy Reid and Brett Veach. Everyone, and they've been saying it all along from the moment he was drafted. They said the same thing at OTAs. They're saying the same thing in training camp. And what they're saying, everyone in concert, is this: Jalen Royals is a very, very quick learner. So like Andy Reid said, we gave him a bunch in OTAs. He comes back for training camp from that absence, and he remembered all of it and applied all of it, right? So like Matt Nagy said, I tell him once, and he's able to do it. Those are the kind of rookies who were able to earn quick playing time in an Andy Reid offense. Here's the other thing about Royals I think is huge. I mean, you mentioned him as kind of a Rice clone. There were like 430 something wide receivers eligible for this year's draft. Royals was 5th in yards after contact, like per route, right? So he's got the same sort of juice to get those yards after making that contact. He's tough and fast. I just think if you're going to have a Rashee Rice suspension, I think they're loading him up. I think they're looking at him and going, he can handle more than we think. And we need a guy like that who can handle some stuff early on. Normally, wide receivers don't get going in Andy Reid's offense. If a rookie gets going at all in Andy Reid's offense, it happens after week 11. That's when it happens. In that last quarter of the regular season into the postseason, if they're there. And we saw that with Rasheed. We saw that with Xavier. That said, I think there's going to be a window of opportunity there. If Hollywood Brown's out too, I really think Jalen could be getting some serious targets.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, rookies, period, wide receivers don't tend to make a big impact early in the NFL rookie seasons. Like even the really, really good ones, there's outliers, of course, but it's just hard, man. It's a lot. It's the best. You're going up against the best of the best. You still have to earn the trust of the quarterback in game situations. Like Patrick Mahomes is going to be looking at Travis Kelce. He's going to be looking at Xavier Worthy, guys that he's played with and he has more trust in. So it could be difficult, but it doesn't have to be an outsized impact. It just might need to be a key first down, starting to build that trust, show those glimpses while he has time to develop and they lean on other parts of the offense. It's exciting. I'm excited about him. We shall see how it goes. And kind of lastly here, just the offense in general. Oh, wait, I want to talk about Omar Norman Lott, who is getting, like, I was reading Nate Taylor, who, congratulations to Nate, who just got hired to replace Adam Teicher over at ESPN.
What a great hire.
Yeah, great hire, great guy. Although I do want Nate to, in homage to Adam Teicher, to start making, if you guys don't remember, and I've been doing this for a long time, back when I started in the early days, Adam Teicher, who Chiefs fans love to hate because they always thought he hated the team because he would just actually tell you what he thought and not, anyway. I like Adam Teicher. I think he's done a great job and it's good coverage. But Adam used to make videos when he was at the Kansas City Star. He'd make little vlogs, and he looked like he was in a kidnap video. He'd have like a t-shirt on. His lighting was terrible. He was in front of like a blank nondescript wall. It's kind of like this room that you're in. Like before you got things on the wall and stuff, it looked like you're in a panic room.
This is my
yeah. So at any rate, congratulations to Nate. So I just think he should do a couple videos like that in homage to Adam Teicher. But he was raving about Omarr Norman Lott, basically saying this is a guy that, like, you see the juice right away. They're like, oh wait, that's a guy, he's going to be a problem. You don't see, he's not saying that about a bunch of the other rookies, but he's saying about Norman Lott. Charles Amendy, he was talking about him the other day about how he's like, he can grab people's wrists, which Amendy said took him a long time to like learn how to do. What are you hearing about him, and how excited are you for him? As he was a rotational guy at Tennessee, but could be, find himself playing alongside one of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he's going to be largely a substitute for Jones in terms of usage. I don't expect a lot of reps from him, and that's not saying because he didn't play a lot of reps at Tennessee, he won't play a lot of reps with Chiefs. I don't think it has to be that. I don't think it has to be about some sort of question of stamina. I just think Chris Jones's usage rate last year was at its zenith and like into his 30s now. There's no reason. The Chiefs are spending more on defense now at other levels than ever. They're gonna pony up and pay Trent. They have a loaded secondary. They paid for Nick Bolton. They've got other guys. Being so dependent on Chris Jones to be the engine up front at such a high level is just not tenable for the long term. It may work this year, but they're paying him what 35 million a year for the next few years. That's not tenable for the long term. So I think we saw that last year. He was gassed. Chris Jones even said at one point, forget the game. And in Chris Jones's comments after the game, he said, yeah, the plan was to get me more rest, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. And we've had a few games like that where it just didn't work out that way. It's the player himself saying the plan is to get me some more rest, and reality isn't letting me rest. And Chris Jones is saying that. And so I think this offseason, I think the Chiefs came in and went, I mean, you wonder why Omar Norman-Lott went a little bit earlier than people thought he would in the draft. They called it a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a reach. No one had questions or doubts about his talent, just that, you probably could have had him in the third round. I think the Chiefs came in going, one of our core priorities this offseason is making sure that Chris Jones is able to get the rest. Like, reality of a single game is not going to dictate whether or not Chris Jones gets the rest. He's going to get it. What do we have to do to get it? We got to take Omar Norman-Lott in the second round, period. So I don't care if we reached a little bit for him. That fills a priority for us. And I think they filled it. And unfortunately, he's looking the part. So,
yeah, it's fantastic news. And can you imagine if the Chiefs weren't playing so many close games all the time, where they actually go out there, get themselves a lead, and maybe it's the second quarter, and they're like, all right, we're up 14 points. Chris, we're going to give you this drive off. And Omar, you're going out, and you're playing in these pass rushing situations. You're getting valuable reps, and hopefully still being productive and making plays. And then you get to the fourth quarter in some of these games, and maybe if you do need Chris Jones, you've got him, and he's healthy, and he's fresh. And you, of course, want him for the later part of the season. So I think this was smart. Again, the Chiefs have to play on the margins here, right? Like, they had to – how do you get a guy like Josh Simmons? You have to trade the farm to go up and get him really high in the NFL draft, or you take some calculated risks. You make some smart moves because you're not just going to get, look, George Karlaftis versus FAU, right? Like, Karlaftis worked out for you. He's never going to be the best pass rusher in the NFL probably, but like, fans who were upset that they locked up George, like, they're insane. Like, where are you going to get a pass rusher when you're drafting in 31 or 32 every single year? These guys are generally pretty easy to scout. They're going to get them, and they're going to draft them. It's such a huge thing. So when you have somebody that's pretty good at it, you've got to lock him up. And as you pointed out, filling in with specialists and rotational guys, it might be the best move for the Chiefs. It might be their only move that they can do for a little while.
Yeah.
All right. I want to move on real quickly. Just the offense overall. What do you expect this year? We've heard Mahomes talking about wanting to throw the ball deeper and all that stuff. And I actually worry about that a little bit, that talk from him myself, because while I do think that they need to do it, I worry that it has to be organic, right? Like, when they had Tyreek, it was organic. It was the obvious thing to do. And when you don't have the personnel, or guys aren't open, or you don't have the time, and I think early last season, he was trying to do the same thing. He was like, we got to throw it deep. And it wasn't working out. And he was getting sacked. He was making bad decisions. What do you expect from the offense this year? Do you think they actually will get back to some of their high-flying ways? Or is it kind of just like talk? Is it like a dream?
No, I'm very bullish on the Chiefs offense this year. I think it's going to be Xavier Worthy was spectacular down the stretch. Spectacular. What do you have, like 287 yards in the postseason, 3 touchdowns, 19 catches. By the way, the catches and receptions were the most in the postseason by anybody. He was also good, like, down the stretch in the regular season too. Like, his final 5 games were nearly 500 yards. I think it was like 450 or something. Rashee Rice was, like Brett Veach said, we believe Rashee Rice was turning into a top 10 NFL wide receiver before he was injured. Like that, not like our best receiver, a top 10 NFL. The Chiefs haven't had that since Tyreek. And it doesn't mean he has to be a deep threat. You have a very, very reliable guy who can handle volume targets and be so effective. Worthy, now a deep threat, who is coming off a scintillating run at the end of the season. Hollywood Brown is what opened up Xavier Worthy's end of season run by coming back and actually forcing defenses to respect. So you have that. Kelce's back in a slim down role. Jalen Royals is there to provide better depth than you had before, when the drop off was down to like Justin Watson, Juju Smith, like some of these guys that do the little things well, but they're not going to be delivering, like, in terms of like being the actual, like, impactful pass catcher. I just think overall the backfield is suspect to me. I I hate it. Hate it. I don't want to hate it. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to eat crow. I would love to think that I think Elijah Mitchell he's the X factor there. That said, I thoroughly believe the Chiefs are going to, I think they average 4 to 5 more points per game this year than last.
That'd be fantastic. In the chat, Joshua Clayton says top 10 offense this year. Bumpa says, I'm not expecting deep passes till I see it. Yeah, it's been a minute. I would like more exciting, more explosive plays from the Chiefs. Look, I don't care if they need to keep dinking and dunking, and they just went to 3 straight Super Bowls doing that. So, like, I'm fine with that. I can live with that. I want to see them continue to win and build Patrick and Travis and Chris and Andy's legacy and all that. But yeah, I do miss a little bit of the light show. Let's bring that back a little bit. All right, Matt, before we go, we always do Patty's Power Rankings. When I do it with Adam Best, we always talk movies, and we talk for an extra half an hour every show about movies. I'm serious, sometimes longer. We pick a year and we do our 3 favorite movies for the year. And I was trying to think of what we could do, and I was sitting here, I'm staring at, and you have one of my favorite albums, The Bends, framed there behind you. So I thought, and what we do with it's not 3 best, but it's 3 favorite. So let's both say our 3 favorite tracks from Radiohead's The Bends. And if you're not a Radiohead person, or you haven't listened to or you don't listen to that, you have never listened to this album, and it's tremendous. It's a tremendous album. So start with your third song.
Oh man, you're like putting me on the spot.
Yeah, well,
probably Planet Telex.
Okay. Starts us off nicely, right? Like
What's yours?
So for me, number 3, I have like one of my favorite songs of all time on this one. I go back and forth, but I think it's got to be The Bends for me.
Yeah, it's great.
Love it. I've got a few that I really like on this one, but as far as like my third favorite, Planet Telex is okay for me. It kind of eases me into the album. I think it's a really well constructed album. Like for me, like the beginning half of this album is just like banger, 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 banger. It's really awesome.
Yep.
But what about number 2 for you?
Probably High and Dry would be. It's just such a great track. It's part of several playlists for me. It's it's nearly as good as it gets until the end, or until my life.
Two for me is High and Dry as well. Absolutely love it. Shows off the range a little bit. It's just a fantastic song.
Yeah.
All right, number 1.
Number 1 is actually my favorite song of all time.
Okay.
Like forget just The Bends, forget just Radiohead. Fake Plastic Trees is my favorite song ever. I found it at a youthful point and like heard this guy describing like, this guy's fake plastic life, watering his fake plastic tree with his fake plastic can, and Tom York singing this, like, it's incredible. Tom York just sings and it wears him out. It wears him out. This fake plastic life just wears him out. And it was just like the level, the story building, the emotional tissue, the connective tissue there built emotionally. The music is just great. It was just so affecting. And I will say this, all of my favorite art is depressing. Like I hate cheerful stuff. I hate summer blockbuster movies. I never need to see another superhero. I hate comedies. I don't need them. I'm funny. I don't need to go watch someone else laugh. But if it can like make me super depressed, I'm like that's the kind of art I want to watch, listen to, read. That's my wheelhouse. So, it's not for everybody, but that makes Fake Plastic Trees my favorite song ever. Is that your number 1?
It's my number 1.
I was going to say, please say it's your number 1.
Yeah, it's dude, it's so good. So I was really into this album in college, and like, how like when you would be partying, like, you're partying all night, and then like you get to the end of the night and you're drunk and you start to get like real, how you get like, everybody starts talking about, real deep shit. And, I like that. I would do this all the time, man. Like be like, 2:30, 3 in the morning, and I'd be like, I'm putting on Radiohead. And like the band, like Fake Plastic Trees would come on, and I'd be like, gravity always wins. That line, I'm drunk. I'm like, dude,
I love it. I love it.
It's so good. It's such a good song. I used to have one of my fraternity brothers used to put on Barbra Streisand, and like at the end of the night, and you would hear him down in his room singing. Hilarious. Yeah, he would sing "You Don't Bring Me Flowers."
Oh my!
I don't know why,
so
but this was my album, and Fake Plastic Trees is unbelievable. I've always I really do love the part where it says he used to do surgery for girls in the 80s, but gravity always wins. And it's like, it's weird, right? Because it's like it's kind of a funny line, but the way he sings it, you're just like, it's beautiful. And you're just like, oh my God. Yeah. Sometimes you just can't fight gravity. It's a fantastic song. Since you like depressing art, have you ever read Kazuo Ishiguro, like Remains of the Day?
Yeah, Never Let Me Go.
Never Let Me Go. Dude, Never Let Me Go.
Brutal. I mean, I loved it, but
broke me.
Yes.
I think it's hard. I think Remains of the Day is my favorite.
Okay.
I just think it's so subtly, the subtlety of the sadness in that book, right, is just is so heartbreaking. And Never Let Me Go was heartbreaking in like a completely different way.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie?
I've never seen either movie.
Okay.
I mean, I read the books and I was like, I don't need to see those movies. Although maybe I should watch those movies. I just haven't seen them.
They're good. The Remains of the Day, I believe, is Anthony Hopkins, and it's good. It didn't hit for me like the book did.
Yeah.
Remains of the Day. Never Let Me Go though. That movie, I need to watch it again. Broke me. It's so good. So some recommendations from me if you're into reading. I got to be honest with you, man. I have a hard time reading that stuff nowadays. I used to be really into it, and now like I want to read like Harry Potter.
I like Harry Potter. I've read Harry Potter. I like Harry Potter.
Yeah, but it's like before bed, I'm like, do I want to read? Do I want to read some of this stuff that's just like really, really? Here's another book for you. Book recommendation if you've never read it. Bel Canto.
Never.
I'll send you a link. It's a little more like kind of like mainstreamy. I think they might have made a movie about it. But I'll send you the link. It's about all these people at a party that gets like taken over by terrorists, and it's like Stockholm syndrome and all. It's interesting. It's a really good book.
By the way, is this the typical riff-raffery you end your podcast with? Like just riffing on whatever?
I try to, yes. Like when it's Verderim, we're like ranking food and stuff, Yeah. And with Adam, it's movies.
I like breakfast cereal. I could do breakfast cereal.
You could do the breakfast cereal.
Dude, but that's all right. I'm good with sad art too. That works.
Yes. We can do, our thing can be sad art when you're on with me. So I'll do movies with Adam, and we can do sad books and movies and songs. And then Verderim and I will just keep it food. They just released some sort of like Franken Oreo. Verderim and I, our favorite things are Oreo and Reese's Cups. And they just released Oreo infused Reese's Cups and Reese's infused Oreos. They didn't just make one product. There's one of each. And I'm just like, I'm trying to lose weight, man. Like I'm trying to get back in shape. Like the kid has thrown me I was in incredible shape to begin with. I was working out though, like every day. I'd get up every morning. And since we had Rory, dude, I'd have like 4 workouts a month. I wasn't able to equalize and figure out how to like work it back into my day. And it's like when I get up in the morning, like he's a daycare and stuff. Like I get a couple hours with him before he goes to school, and then a couple hours before bed, like, and that's it. And that's all I want to do with my time, is spend time with him. And so he started sleeping like really great recently, like all through the night, no more wake ups. And I'm going to bed at like, 9:30, and I'm getting really good sleep, and I'm getting up and I'm working out, and then I get to hang out with him. It's been amazing. I hope it probably won't last. I know he's getting to the toddler stage, so I know then they just start like getting up and like they like fight bedtime and stuff. But right now I'm in like a golden thing. And I'm like, I got to take advantage of this and like get down 20 pounds so that I can put it back on during football season.
Well, that's what you can do. You could call it quality time with your kid and say, here, Rory, here is a Reese's Oreo, whatever you said they came out with. Like,
yeah.
You
Franken
can call
cookie.
it, yeah, just share it with your kid, and then it's like spending quality dad time that way. It's not a selfish thing.
That's a great idea. Dude, I love being a dad. It's been so awesome. I cannot it's one of those things, when you do something and you get into it, like, and then like, you do it for a while and it's like, all right, I've been doing this thing. Like it keeps getting better actually, which is not something that I like really foresaw.
It's not like CrossFit or something. It's not like
right. Yeah, right. It's literally like when you have the baby and they're so cute and they're small and you're like, oh, it's amazing. And stuff. And it's just like, man, it's just like, he just keeps doing stuff that I'm just like, you're the best thing that's ever happened. It's awesome. It's really cool. I'm really enjoying it. Highly recommend. As somebody who used to be staunchly
like a movie. Like, by the way, if you guys want to try this book, feel free. Try that Frankenberry and try having a kid.
Try having a kid. 5 out of 5 would recommend. You got to have your head screwed on straight about it. That's for sure. But it's been pretty cool. All right, we're going to let you guys get out of here. The audience is already dropping off precipitously because some people just don't care about my happiness and your taste in music.
Why should they?
You got to give the people what they
My
want.
wife doesn't either.
I'm not going to go down that road. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Listen, if you want to become a member of the Arrowhead Addict podcast crew, now is the time. Check out the link in the description. About to fire up the Fantasy Football League. We're putting together a whole calendar of events for our members this year, which is something we have not been on top of. So there's going to be happy hours and trivia and just all kinds of fun things where we spend time with you, contests, all that stuff for our most ardent supporters, because you guys help keep the lights on here. We invest every penny that we make in this podcast back into the podcast. So we really appreciate all y'all's support. It helps us bring in new co-hosts and all that fun stuff. And hopefully we can do another live event here sometime soon. So we need your support and we just want to get to know you. So join the private Discord, check out the link in the description. And tonight's the night. Football back, Hall of Fame game. I'm going to be in the Discord with the crew watching the game like we do. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you join, support the show. Thank you to producer Richard for getting us up and running. Thank you to Matthew Connor, the editor at Arrowhead Addict. You need to be going to arrowheadaddict.com every day for Connor's stuff. Stacy, Lyle, Branson, the whole crew turning out just amazing coverage of the team. And not just news, but really great insights. Like I think it was who was it that Christian Ainsworth from the podcast. He just did a really great breakdown of the Madden rankings.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. And what I loved about that piece that you guys put together was it wasn't like you can find those on other sites out there and it's just here are the rankings and there's not much insight. Christian, it's a good read that even if you don't play Madden, read his article because you'll learn about the players. He talks about whether or not these are good ratings for the players, and he talks about their skill set and ability and their background and everything like that. So you guys just do really good, insightful work there on a day-to-day basis, and you take concepts maybe that other people are doing and you take them a little bit further and provide that insight. So it's just awesome the work that you guys do. And I can't stress enough how important it is that you listen to this podcast, but that you're also reading the website as well.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me on today. It's good to be with you.
Yeah, always good to have you, brother. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Freaky Friday with Adam Best. But until then, as always, go Chiefs.